Okay.
So yeah, we're going into season two. Yay!
Yay.
I guess for this we probably should give an update. We are one member short now for the Georgia team. I won't go too much into that, but yeah, the whole purpose of Dead Sharp Paranormal, the reason we ain't been around is because we've been handling everything internally, so that we can get back on the field again. You know that, and we've been waiting for the weather to cool down.
And it's on its way. Yay.
Hey, that and we got several places that I actually met a guy the other day over at Little Caesars. He knows some places that we can hunt. So he's supposed
Okay.
to be getting in contact with me about that.
And that's close by up in your area of the state.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
he knew some around in between us too.
Oh, okay.
Which
That'll work
brings
too.
which brings up another thing. We all need to start planning for. I need to get with Aaron about it, but we need to start planning for Old Blakely, the jail.
Gotcha.
I mean, that place is cheap, so
Unlike some of the other places that they want a small portion just to go over and do a walkthrough.
right. No, oh, what was it? I was talking to someone about a place in. I want to say it was in Columbus.
Ooh.
Freaking, they wanted $800 for 2 hours,
Oh, good lord.
and I'm like, that's
T-
insane.
Tell you wasn't trying to buy nothing. You just want to go see it.
I almost told him I can't. I want to come hunt. I don't want to come buy the ghost and bring it home with me.
Right. Good lord.
Oh, but no, that's. Ooh. It was almost like the same thing that was going on with the Conjuring House. People were paying outrageous prices, and she either was not showing up, door was locked, or she would only let them in one part of the place,
Right.
and then the hours vary. Don't know how the hell that was.
Another person I talked to about that she was trying to throw him under the bus, saying, trying to state that he had some kind of control. He had to make an announcement on, through his channels and stuff that he had no control of what she was doing. So, he had no control of the establishment or the property or anything of the sort. Whether he, because she was accusing him of being controlling, that he had would set dates and not show up, and he hadn't set dates in a couple of years. So,
Yeah,
he had to set the record straight on that.
yeah,
And she was out there trying to throw him under the bus on it.
and the video that she kept showing, that's obviously not him. That was some fucking kid who looks like he just showed up for a hunt and no one was there.
Right.
Um, but no, I actually found out what was it earlier this week when I told you about it. She got arrested for DUI, and
Yeah.
she also got a thing
That
from.
would explain a lot.
Mm, and I think she got a thing from the state of Rhode Island that she had to close shop because she didn't have the compensation insurance. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, I'm not gonna say she was the cause of it, but the inflation hike on most of the haunted properties in the United States is just outrageous. Um,
It took off. I mean, shortly after she got that and started jacking the price up there, it's like it went viral and everybody went to doing it all over the country.
and I don't see why. I mean,
I mean, if they don't want us to hunt, they just need to say so because we're not. You know, I don't know about. I know a lot of them are after the money, but we're not. We're after the research and the science of it. We want to see if we can really get something on recorded.
right. I mean, it's just like I can understand, big places like Waverly Hills, Gettysburg, Chattanooga, Chickamauga. I can understand them doing it because it's a national park, etc.
Well, they're in the business. They're in the business to make money.
But when it comes to places that are small, like Witchbell Cave, um, trying to think of other places. I think I heard something about Fort Pulaski starting to do it, but
Well,
that
Fort
hasn't been
Pulaski's
confirmed.
they're a, a state park, you know, so they're there to make money. You
Yeah,
know,
but it hasn't been confirmed yet. I mean, I've heard rumors that they're doing it, but at the same time, I've heard that it's just like,
which brings a point.
mm,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
Um, we were planning my vacation coming up, and Kim had brought up the idea of going down to Dolphin Island, down below Mobile. And then we found that island. You know, heard about that. I even went and watched the documentary on the other night about that Confederate Fort Island off the coast of Dolphin Island. That's a state park, and it's 100% haunted. I even went and watched the Expedition X video of where they caught a full-bodied apparition during setup. It wasn't even during the investigation. They set a camera, and they were over here doing something else, set more cameras, and the technician caught it. He said, "Guys, something just walked across the camera. You know, the view of the camera. You need to go back and watch it." And so everybody went running in and watched it, and you could see a full body apparition just strut his stuff, wearing his little Confederate cap, walk right across the hallway, right through the wall.
Mm,
It's like, yeah, there was no doubt about it. And we were talking about going down there for vacation, and Kim was going to try to see about getting us tickets to go out there so I could see that fort. That kind of fell through because uh, our stepson decided he wanted to reward us for our vacation, and so I'm going somewhere else, and I'm going to try to find me a digital recorder to take with me that I can keep in my pocket and see if I can get anything in Memphis, Tennessee, in Graceland.
oh,
See if I can get the king. See if I can get him on recording.
is it still true you're not allowed to go up into like the big bedroom?
Now you go anywhere in the house now.
Oh wow, that'd be awesome. Um, we but hey, with that new activity we got coming up, evidence review, which I mean that does pull away from a little bit from the podcast episodes, but hey, um, we can start checking out some of our old evidence, seeing what other people think and what y'all think.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have been doing that at the beginning
Yep.
with, because I mean, it felt kind
I've
of
been watching a
wrong.
lot of videos here lately. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of videos here lately. I ain't gonna name the particular YouTuber that I'm watching a lot of his stuff, but I have a lot of issues with some of his stuff that he's putting out there. He says he's showing to be haunted. Yeah, but his nothing against him as a YouTuber. I love his watching some of his stuff, but Here lately, some of that stuff he's putting up as, I guess, what he calls paranormal activity or videos, I have a lot of questions about because the fact is, I could recreate them tomorrow with a piece of fishing line and some dark cameras.
Yeah.
It's really simple things that they're calling paranormal, and I'm like, it could be. I ain't gonna say it ain't, but I can recreate it really, really easily to the fact of, you know, it's like so many people out there are just wanting to get their 10 seconds of fame by posting a video to some of these people, and I don't know if it's just them saying, okay, because it's sent to us, we're gonna put it out there, let the people decide whether it's a hoax or it's a real thing. But I mean, I'm watching, going, I ain't gonna say it ain't true, but it's just too easy to recreate.
Yeah. Um, it's just like right now on TikTok, there's a big trend with was it telekinesis, and I was watching this one dude, and I'm like, oh well, I mean, even if you don't use the fishing line, people forget you can still use static electricity to move things. And I wasn't
Right.
thinking about it when I put that comment in there, and someone's like, "No, you can actually see the fishing line." And I had to look at it again. I'm like, "Oh yeah, there it is. You can see it looking past the vent. There's the flicker of the damn fishing line." And I'm like,
Yep.
"Well, that's my bad. It's still funny, but you know, unfortunately,
But that's the stuff that really gets me.
yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to getting evidence, people are getting more craftier, and they're making it harder for us to prove anything. I mean, on your side of things, I mean, I put you in charge of debunking everything, which is perfect. We can debunk. We can make sure that we can try different methods of getting evidence.
Man, it's like I said in that meet and greet. It's like it was nothing against everybody else being a lot younger. Is I've been around different things. I've worked as the mechanic work. I've done carpentry work. I drive a truck. I run heavy equipment. I do electrician work. I've done plumbing, and I've heard all kinds of different scenario noises. Living around farmhouses, living in the city, and them sounds have like stuck with me. A creaking door can be somebody could misinterpret it as somebody saying words. So you listen for different things when you hear them. It's like, okay, play that back where I can hear it again. And then I'm like, okay, I could duplicate that. So I'll put that down as a maybe.
Right.
But when I'm watching other people's evidence that they put out here and saying, oh, no, this is 100%, this is guaranteed paranormal, I can recreate that with a simple flip of a fan switch.
Right.
But I don't put them down for it because what they're showing may be 100% authentic. But there again, I have an issue that it can be recreated real simply.
I mean, it started back in the day with fishing line and I don't know, causing disturbances with the floor that makes dust come up, and you think you got orbs.
Well, simple mirrors and different lighting can make you think. It's illusion tricks to your mind.
Yeah. And then there was that whole thing with EMF. All you needed was something with some electricity on you, and it would go off.
Or bad wiring in a house. You
Yeah.
can make you can figure out where it works, where it lights up at, and all right, we're gonna stay here and do turn the K2 meter and see what we get here. Well, yeah, you're gonna get a pulse function in the lighting because there's a background and a light switch right there.
And I had one person come
It's
to me.
just too simple.
I had one person come to me, and she's like, I keep experiencing this like sense of dread in the kitchen, and it's like, well, automatically, one, you're in the kitchen. How many appliances do you have? How's your kitchen laid out?
Yep.
And when she explained to me that she's got one of those, double-sided kitchens, and I'm like, well, how many appliances are
Oh,
on each
galley.
side?
Yeah.
And when she explained it to me, oh, it was lined with appliances. I'm like, do you have bad wiring. And she's like, "Oh yeah, we're in the process of getting it rewired." I'm like, "Faraday cage. You have a literal freaking fear cage in that kitchen." And it's
Yep.
like that's nothing paranormal. That's just EMF. It can mess your body
Bad wiring. Yep.
it can give
You
you that
can't.
sense of
You
dread.
got to. It's like I said in the meat greet. It's just like crossing traffic. You always look both directions before you cross an active road. When it comes to paranormal, and you think there might be paranormal, well, do your research. See what you got going on around you first. It's physical, and then think about the paranormal.
I still want someone to explain to me because there people still say there's still a way. If you're out in the middle of a field and you're picking up on
Uh-huh.
EMF, how is that
Yep.
possible? Because they're like, oh, there's still a way to debunk it. Okay, the nearest power line is about a mile that way.
It's a court. Well, you got to look. The kind of clothing you wear. If you go on a ghost hunt and you got a pair of corduroy pants on in the middle of a cornfield, you're going to develop some static electricity. And guess what? Static electricity is going to set off in a K2 meter.
True.
Uh, if you got somebody with long hair, not putting women down, but somebody with long hair, and they've shampooed and blow dried their hair before they left the house, and they got the frizzies kind of flaying out. Well, the more you move, guess what? The more static electricity builds off your own body. So,
Yep.
and you give that person the K2 meter, yeah, it's going to set it off because they got static electricity flowing across their skin. There's all kinds of different ways there. But if you take it out and turn it on, you lay it down on the ground, and you step away from it, and it lights up. Well, I'd have to say you probably come in contact with somebody.
Yeah. Now, I will say, but people are getting more craftier. I came across the other day.
Oh,
People
a
get.
9-volt battery can do it.
Oh yeah.
You can do not. You can take a 9-volt battery and bury it under the ground. Lay a K2 meter on top of it.
But yeah, they're getting more craftier. I saw the person the other day. He was doing it more for entertainment value of anything. He was using this like projector, the new projectors that are coming out. To he
Mhm.
basically designed his own apparition, and I'll give
Nah,
him props. He did a good job. That looked like something that would have been real.
doing a hologram,
Yeah,
doing a hologram thing. Yeah.
yeah. He basically he put two mirrors on the side of the projector, and then he emplaced a transparent thing of a design of a silhouette, and yeah, you
Hmm.
saw it. And it even looked like it moves.
Right.
So I mean, they're getting craftier.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's you either go backwards with technology, or we're going to have to make better technology and new techniques of investigating to prove that ghosts are real.
Well, I mean, me, yeah, I like to see one, and it's obvious. We're paranormal research. We love to catch stuff on camera. But me, the noises and hearing physical wording, people talking, or people can actually communicating with you,
Mm,
not just saying words out of random. I love that. That just kind of turns on the adrenaline rush in me when I hear somebody say something or hear noise. Case in point, Balls Ferry when we heard the drums that night.
right.
It just when I took off over there and I did, and there was no way possible anybody got through that brush over without we hearing them before they got in there and started playing drums. Yeah, my bells went off. We are getting 100% paranormal activity.
And disclaimer to anyone who watches this: that evidence was actually picked up on recordings, but it was not picked up on the main camera for some reason.
Oh, your videos, you can hear it.
You can?
The video you played that you had it. Yes, you can hear it. You have to listen close, but you can hear it. It's faint, but it's there.
Oh well. I will then put that video down in the description then.
Yeah, I went back and watched that video several times because I didn't hear it at first. and then I went back and I turned my volume up and held my cut my headphones where I could get drown out all the excess noise, ambient noise around me,
Mm-hmm.
and you can hear it. It's there. And it's like, oh shit, there it is.
Oh, there's a lot of cases we have to go back and listen to a lot of the recordings because
Well, my buddy told me the same thing. That's why a lot of his shows have been reviewing, like replaying some of their old videos, because they went back and re-listened and rewatched their videos on their VHS or whatever they got digital recording, and found more evidence because they misplaced it at first as something else and got to listen. No, that's somebody talking. So we got to do the same thing. We have to go back and replay and review and relook, just like them pictures you sent me of the cemetery. We don't talk about too much because we have
mm,
put it in our blacklist not to go back.
yep,
So I went back and looked at some more of them pictures. No, there was more things going on there that night than what we seen even in our mine and your review evidence. I went back and changed the contrast and the lighting on my to the pictures, and there was a heck of a lot more people out there that night than we thought.
yeah. And it's funny because most of the time when it comes to pictures, I have to go over to your place to actually look at the photos because mine,
Yep.
for some reason, I either got bad eyes or this monitor ain't good for it.
Well, I mean, I've got the extra video card that y'all bought me. Y'all got me that one year for my birthday, and it's got a lot of extra features on it that some of your video cards that you just go buy don't have. So when I'm looking at a picture, I can brighten and soften and sharpen and take away some of the contrast to where I can focus on one spot and make it clear, and the rest of the picture can be blurry. But
Right.
that one spot, I can focus and make it really super clear. So that helps us because I do that quite a bit. All them old pictures that you sent me, I've got every one of them. I pull them up every now and then, just go back and look through them. Boss Ferry. Some of them orbs that night was dust. I would give it that. We were outside.
Yep.
But when Mandy was talking about checking, watch for color inside of an orb, you see if it's elongated or if it's, kind of like not perfectly spirit shaped. It's kind of like, spirit shaped like this.
Yeah.
Check it, review it, look at it, blow it up a little bit. It was 18 of them. I counted up 18 orbs that night that had a face in them. And I loved it because I could look at the design of the shirt collar of the face. You see the face come down to the neckline, and the shirt collar you see around their neck
Mm.
is not like wearing a white button-up shirt. You can see the color like a blue, like almost like the blue shade of a Union soldier uniform.
I, 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 I still think that the best evidence I've ever seen was one, the shadow man that we picked up in the laser grid. But the other one
Thinking,
is when,
hmm, I'm thinking we were outside around the cemetery or the graveyard, when you call it. Oh, and I'm trying to think, was it? I think it was that picture we got of Aaron walking past the church.
yeah,
If you blow it up and look, there's a double layment. If you look, there's like him and something else laid over top of him. At first, I thought it was a blurred photo, like camera wasn't fast enough frames to catch it. Him walking, but no, it's somebody else with a long-tailed jacket walking behind him.
I'd had to look back at that
I
photo.
haven't said I haven't said nothing to him because of that, because I don't want him thinking that something could have been attached to him that night. I don't think it was attached. I think it was wanting to see what he was doing, because remember when you seen the face in the window looking out at, like, what are you up to?
Right. And plus,
And we didn't get a picture of that man.
right. Plus, when I was doing the Estes method that night,
Yep.
whatever was talking, I mean, it was getting irritated, and
Right.
it was almost like someone flicked my ear, and all of a sudden the headphone, it went out. It was done.
Right. And that loud screech sound to where you had to throw them off your head.
Mm.
I remember that. All right, where we at?
Uh, well, we can talk about what's in the paranormal news. The
Okay.
UFO hearings.
Okay.
Even though we don't hunt little green men, um,
Don't mean they ain't out there.
yeah, supposedly they're in the ocean. I I still don't think how anyone hasn't thought about it. If they're in the ocean, does that mean that they could be Atlanteans? I mean,
Well, I've thought about something too. You read the stories of all the history of the mariners claiming the Kraken is what come up out of the ocean and broke their ship in half and men died. Only two or three people survived and went and told the story, and it developed to be some kind of a maritime myth and all this. Who's to say that might have been the reason why they got too close to something where they were fishing and they knew something had to be done to to eliminate before somebody found out they were there. We don't know. It'd be pretty cool to kind of dive off into it, but it's also a long rabbit hole. You'll be there for
very.
years before you can find any kind of evidence. That's a big place to hide.
Not only that, between that Malaysian air flight, um, that footage finally got released, and you can see like these three orbs going around it, and all of a sudden it poof gone. If
Yep.
that's true, if that
Yep.
video is real, if is the biggest word of that situation, then it makes you think about the Bermuda Triangle. If that is the case, then that means there's some sort of 0 point energy being used to make these people teleport and disappear. Or it could be a wormhole of some sort.
Yep.
Either way you look at it, people who have went through that area have described like a whirlpool effect before exiting it and going
Yeah.
out the other side.
Kind of like what was that movie many years ago? They showed an aircraft carrier going through it, and they were back in 1942.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It was like it was in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah. They was on the supposed to be like the USS Enterprise, you
Yeah,
know, aircraft carrier, and they had all them
yeah.
jets on board, and they said, "Sir, we could change the course of history right here. We could, head them off and destroy them before they make Pearl Harbor."
I know what you're talking about. It's got the guy from Jaws in it. He's the captain.
Mm-hmm. I think Kirk Douglas was in it.
It
I can't remember what was in it. It's a good movie,
it makes you think.
but it makes me think about it. Yeah, because I mean, where'd they get the idea to make that?
Mm. Or I know this is like my stoner head thinking about this. If you've ever seen the movie Paul, and he literally says in the RV with those British actors, they've been floating my image around for 60 years so that your sensitive brains could be comfortable with who I am.
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, there's a lot of scenarios out there. I mean, and it makes you think and wonder: is there any fact to it?
mm. And
I mean,
then
I remember as a kid wondering about the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, hell, I read about it. There's a lot of planes disappearing back in the '70s over the Bermuda Triangle,
about to say,
and
about
a
to say,
lot of there's a ship, two ships I remember had disappeared.
about to say, wasn't there a whole flight squadron that went out there? They were coming out of
Yeah,
Florida.
that was. Yeah, it was after World War II. Them Avengers. Yeah,
Mm,
they actually they found most of them though. They were like the planes were crashed off the coast of Florida, but it's like the I don't think anybody survived that, but they sitting there as they could tell because that one pilot made a radio call saying something about his compass was spinning.
spin.
Well, simple magnetics, changing magnetic fields in the air could do that, affect that. So if they were getting too close to something that was going on in the water at the time, who's to say they might have had some kind of way of having a magnetic field generator to turn on and mess them up to where they get lost and time they make it back to the coast, they're out of fuel.
I like someone's theory on TikTok, and I don't know. That's a bit dangerous of what he's talking about. Um, he said you take what year they supposedly made first contact, which was 1945, I think is what they said. A year later, they started doing underwater nuking,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a
Yeah,
scary
like they're
thought.
trying to destroy something.
Mm.
Right.
And you take for
How long do
instance,
they know about something down there?
right? But like this one girl said, there's this place out in Texas. It is a newspaper article from like 1880 something. It talks about a dang UFO crash, and it's they
Oh
act
wow.
like it's a normal day in Texas.
I
There were apparently bodies. They buried them and destroyed the wreck. Salvaged the wreck for metal.
didn't know what they were even looking at.
Mm. Which in my brain, if there's technology on the thing, that if they were smart enough, they would have become the most advanced town in Texas at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not smart enough. They're just going to break it down to the bare metal and do whatever with.
I could, I could plate my barn top with this metal.
We're not making fun of no one. We're just saying the logic of that
Yeah, it's
nuclear
just
bomb.
the simple logic. Some people, yeah, of that era, nobody knew what
Yeah.
the.
I mean, it's the same thing with the Roswell situation. Most people don't know there was actually two crashes in Roswell. I want to say they're like one after the other or same night. I can't remember. One was on a farm and the other one was out in the field somewhere.
The only one you ever hear about is the one out in the field.
Yeah.
That's the one they like to talk about, and it even got it marked off where you can, pull off the side of the road. You can look at that area with binoculars, as a viewpoint.
Oh, you can go out in
But
the
the one
field now.
at the farm, they don't talk about. Oh, really? They let you go out there now?
Yeah. Yeah. There's people out there that go metal detecting and find little things here and there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But the farm one, that's the one that they don't. Yeah, you're right. They don't talk about. The four bodies they pulled
No.
out of the craft, and but supposedly, and this is just
Yeah.
something I heard, the night that one that crashed in the farm happened, um, the United States Air Force was actually working on a new thing that dealt with shooting signals into clouds. The
Hmm.
basically that weather project they were working on, which really didn't go into effect until the Vietnam
Oh, they
War.
call that um, sound variation, pulsating waves. I can't remember what to
Right.
call it now.
And supposedly, when the UFO was going through the clouds, it hit it and it did something and it crashed.
It's like it basically what I was talking about a while ago. Disoriented their damn way of navigating.
Right. And but even still, there are other cases like 1938. There was a crash in Italy somewhere, and supposedly there's the Vatican has bodies and craft aircraft, and it's like, okay, we're going a bit far there. Not going to say it didn't
Well,
happen,
there's no way to prove that. Yeah, you can't prove that because the Vatican is going to keep doors closed. They ain't going to let nobody look at that.
but to be honest, comparing Nazi Germany was
If
about
they had it,
Nazi Germany was about 20 years ahead of us. So
yep, they created that bell,
yeah,
and to this day, nobody knows where the bell's at now. They built a humongous warehouse up in Pennsylvania that is shaped. The back doors are shaped like the bell would have been shaped, and it's not there. So
yeah.
nobody knows where it went.
The question is that warehouse any connection with Wright Patterson Air Force Base? Wait, that's in Ohio, isn't it?
Probably so. Yeah, but they're right next door to each other.
Yeah, true. But I say, wasn't there a big Air Force base in Pennsylvania at one point?
Yep. Yeah, right there, close to where that warehouse they claimed that the bell would have been stored in. It's right close to there.
But I say everybody loves to talk about Wright Patterson, which I think is in Dayton, Ohio, and Area 51 out in New Mexico.
Nevada.
Yep. Oh, Nevada.
Yep.
Well, that shows how much I know my
It's close
geography.
enough. I mean, it's it's close enough. And it's like just a few hundred miles north.
And now there's
Yeah.
there's talks about what's going on out there at 29 Palms, um, White Sands Missile Range. So I don't know. I want to find the Marine who took the video out of 29 Palms. That was amazing. The triangular shape that was
Watching the
just
lights.
yeah. They're all like,
Yep.
oh, illumination lights that
Yep.
comes down. That this is just staying there.
Mm-hmm. Hovered for a long time.
Yeah,
Then they broke up like broke formation and went all different directions.
right. And the thing is, no one knows who the Marine was that posted it. I mean, that's the sad part about it. That's the reason why we hunt ghosts and not go after UFOs. Because if you find out the wrong thing, you got three government agencies that come after you: CIA, FBI, and the United States Air Force. And I
Yep.
mean, back in
And they can prove you said something. You get a lifelong
the
motel room.
right. But I'd say the Department of Energy used to do something too back in the '80s with it, and
Oh yeah. Well, department. I ain't gonna go into too much details about Department of Energy, but I still think they had a lot to do with Tesla's downfall because he had figured out how to set up a magnetic generating field from static electricity that the Earth produces to create free electricity for everybody.
all right.
And then all of a sudden, J.P. Morgan pulled his funding, and we know what happened after that. He basically went bankrupt and pretty much lost everything he had.
Not only that, have you actually ever heard what happened when he was? I forget where the building is. It might be in Manhattan. I might be wrong on that one. Where he died. That building. Supposedly,
I hadn't heard nothing about it.
the building structure is structured just like his tower would have been. It's got tunnels and everything out under it, and at the same time, that point at the top, it's meant for for lightning strikes. Anyways,
Yep.
when he died, a bunch of people from the FBI, Department of Energy, United States Air Force all came down and took all of his stuff. And the only stuff that got released was, or what they found in his room were like 12 boxes, I think, maybe 13, can't remember. Anyways, still, it makes you think, what does our government have that he researched? Because he had a lot of stuff, especially weapons that he was developing.
All right.
I mean, I even
I know he had a
go ahead.
he had a lot of open contracts and never got filled. He was, not able to.
He's the one that came up with the whole idea about even though it didn't go into production, he's the one that came up with the idea of putting bombs on pigeons and flying them into key locations in Europe and exploding. Another scientist had the same idea with using bats, but even still,
We know how that turned out.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, it never went into production because they just the pigeons were just like the bats. They were too unpredictable. Especially if they
Yep.
were homing pigeons, they would have came back to literally the person that launched them.
Bringing a bomb back to you.
Uh, but yeah, this is why we deal with ghosts.
I think paranormal researching is a lot safer.
That you don't have to deal with so many conspiracies,
All right.
and at least I can do something like
Even though you still have a lot of people out there. Yeah. Yeah. You still have a lot of people out there pointing fingers, talking about, oh, they're fake, they're fake, they're fake. We don't fake nothing. I mean, people, we're not here for. We hope you're enjoying our videos. We hope you enjoy our hunts, etc. But we're not doing this for
self
you know
gratification.
fame or glory or nothing like that. Right.
At the end of the day, I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't want to take a bunch of pictures.
Real.
Relax. I just want to take some pictures.
But it's actually it's funny. We've actually gotten invited to come up there and investigate that place where he used to abduct people.
Oh wow. I don't know if I
Um,
want to.
that's right. I want to go to where his
I still
apartment
got
complex
I still got a
was.
little bit more training. Yeah. Yep.
But I've heard that's a very bad
I still got a
neighborhood.
little bit more work to do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not quite through my demonology course yet.
Oh God. Uh, but no, let's see, we've got one place down in Savannah that has invited us to come down. Of course, we got to pay for it. Um,
All right, but it's within our budget.
yeah, that's the whole. Yeah, how you doing there, Rolo?
Yeah. He wants an acknowledgement, I guess.
Yeah, if you could show your room with your webcam if possible.
I just turn it best I can. The dresser over here, which I can't quite get the camera to turn that far to show the closet door.
That's all good.
That dresser, the handles on that dresser, they like to get played with quite regular. I've got a spirit here that's part of my heritage. Oh, I can't remember how old he is now. It's just for bum's sakes, let's say 800 years since his death or so, and he likes to come and talk, and he's quite infatuated with one of our uh, paranormal researchers.
And for a lot of
I guess
cases,
she reminds him a lot of his wife.
mm, for a lot of cases, he's something. A lot of spirits on your property are actually something special because in a lot of haunted places, these spirits just stay there. We have people at your property that have literally came through almost like a portal from different
From other
locations.
parts of the world. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And I know some people, even family members, don't believe. Some of the people that has come here and actually spoke and told us who they were. The prime, I can't say there's any favorite of mine, but there's one that really shocked us the night that he spoke, and I'm like, blew my mind that his why would he be here? And then we found out why later on, but it still is. There's several here. I mean, and then recently by doing research of what's the name of that castle one in Scotland? Probably the one I'm talking about that James Douglas lived in.
It'd probably be Douglas Castle or Sterling.
Uh,
I know he stayed in Sterling for a little
no,
while.
Rafe Castle. Was it Rafe? Rafe Castle? Right?
Not
I
sure.
can't remember. It's where that king starved to death in that tower. I can't remember the name of it now, but
I had to look it up.
his spirit is here at my property, and he's quite vocal too. Which I mean, he's not really vocal, but he will let his presence be known, and he will give you a little tap on the shoulder. He approves of what you're doing, and that's James Douglas.
Yeah, I
It's probably one
seriously.
of the most haunted castles in Scotland. I'd be love to go do
Right.
it.
There's a lot of places in Scotland I would love to do, like the catacombs of Edinburgh.
Oh yeah, I would love to go to the Highlands
Mm,
and just do a walkthrough and just see what I catch. That would be awesome to me.
I want to go to Lennox Castle,
Yeah,
which is
me
now
too.
owned by whoever owns. I think the football field next to it. Sorry, they hate it when we call it soccer. But yeah, whoever owns the football field next door is actually owns the side of the castle.
Give him time. Give him time. But in the meantime,
Mm.
we're gonna keep on knocking on cemeteries and properties that people allow us to do hunts on, and we're going to see what we can find here.
And what I always say, spirits are not always demons.
And no, no. And those of you that are was raised to believe that, it's fine. That's the way you were raised. I was raised that way myself. But over the years, I have learned there's a big difference.
Especially when they want to be treated like a human.
Energy, right? Yep. Some of the paranormal out there is wandering around because they want people to associate or talk with them because they don't realize they passed on, and we don't want to freak them out. And hey, you've been dead for 80, 800 years, or you've been dead 100 years. But we try to, yeah, people can't see you because you're an energy now. You're a spirit. But we will make contact, and we make contact, and they communicate with us, which we've run into several that, hey, they want to carry on conversation. They really don't want you to leave because they enjoy it because nobody talks to them.
Yep.
Case in point, the young lady we run into up in Griffin, Georgia.
Yeah.
That was a trip.
Yeah.
Uh, Billy and our other investigator, Mandy, carried on a full blown conversation with this young lady for, I'd say, 30 to 45 minutes easy. While me and Aaron just sat there and watched and listened, like, this is cool. There was nothing we could do.
Yeah. For the ones who want to know where that footage
One of
is, we didn't do it. We just started talking and we never record.
we we should have we
Yeah.
should have recorded it because there was a lot going on. We should have recorded in the car on the way up there because the conversation we had about the sailor, and
Yeah.
get up there and feel somebody staring at you from a certain place, and Mandy points out where he's at, and I walked up there first, and lo and behold, it's the sailor we talked about. Now we're talking about a cemetery that's thousands of people there,
Yep.
and
And we.
it had no clue where this man would be buried at, and walked right to his place of burial. It's like, wow, blow my mind.
Yep. It was our first time being there. Oh, there's that should have been one thing we actually should have done. That unfortunately, I mean that's with the spirits. I mean, have you noticed in anything being recorded recently? that it seems like spirits are getting ramped up. Like either they're
Mm-hmm.
getting better to be seen, their voices are getting heard a lot clearer.
Well, with the like we was talking about a while ago, people wanting to charge outrageous prices to hunt these properties that you know is haunted. Uh, People are like us are not able to do it. So the amount of paranormal people going out is slowed down. So these guys are like, hey, we want to talk. So if they know something's recording, they free and willing to open their mouths and say, hey, I'm over here. Come on, hang out for a little bit. I don't blame them. I'd be the same way.
No, I want to go up to Juliet Prison in Illinois. Somebody was up there recently,
Mm,
and they were in the infirmary. We've all heard the stories. Oh, John Wayne Gacy was in the infirmary before he died.
right.
Well, no one could get definitive proof that he was in there. Someone caught an EVP saying, "I'm John Wayne Gacy."
Oh wow, that'd be cool.
And then they asked him, "Well, what was your
That's
name?"
some pretty hardcore.
Well, they asked him, "What was your name when you were a clown?" He said, "Pogo the Clown." And he said it
Oh wow.
like he was a hot dog about it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
there's something going on in the magnetic field of this planet that is making these spirits ramp up a lot more than usual. I'm just waiting for one to just show his face. Which, for anyone who's watching us, I've actually seen some of our spirits at his house. I've actually seen full body figures, and that's scary when you come face to
Oh,
face
the
with
one
one.
the one that's in here. Uh, I'll even say his name. Lord help us all if he starts talking. Uh, his name is Rolo, and he was a Norse slash Scottish warrior. Oh, there goes the camera. Uh, what was the year, Bill? I can't even remember the year now.
He died. Are you talking about the
Uh,
day he died?
well, his era of when he was a warrior
Rolo, you said you were 30 years
was
old when you
what?
died, right?
He's
Rolo.
talking to you.
Yeah, you were 30. Okay. So he was born 1030 and he died in 1066. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's going to confirm that or not, but
Uh,
yeah, but yeah, he died. He
that
died.
people, this guy here,
Good.
when I first saw him, I was out in my yard, and we had a clan meeting. What, the weekend before, and I'm out there doing something in the yard, and I seen movement, and I looked up, and this dude's walking across my yard. And just as he gets to the tree line behind my on the backside of my property, he turned and looked at me and nodded his head. And it freaked me out because he's in full dress from, I'd say, like mid thigh up is all I could really see. I couldn't see his lower legs. And if he'd have walked over to me, he'd have been at least 7'2". It like, and he just faded away as he walked into the trees. It wasn't what about a week later, Billy, when he showed up, and he basically informed us that he was set here to counsel and protect.
Yeah, I know you saw it too. I know you saw it. That was not my
I
cigarette.
did.
That was not a bug.
Yep, I saw it.
My, mind you, there are no flying bugs in this room. None. So
I can't guarantee mine because these two cats back here, they'll make movements at any time.
Um,
And Lord help us. I have a few more that like to stop by and say hi occasionally. So
yep.
they'll all be different voices. If you listen, they'll all pop in and say, start talking.
Yeah, I've got three here. One's an Amish person, one's a former slave, and well, I think they were a slave when they died, but I'll say former now since he's free from the pain. And we have a
All right.
family member here. And then you got one outside, which I'm guessing she died sometime in the 70s because she wears bell bottoms. But yeah, I think the spirits at your house. If we could set up
They're attracted
cameras,
more to my us doing our research.
mm,
Yeah.
it would be nice if we had the equipment we needed to do full blown research at your place.
Uh, for people that do watch us, and I hope y'all continue to keep watching us. Don't think we're a bunch of crazy clowns or nothing. But um, I drive a truck for a living, and there's been days that the activities kicked off in here first thing in the morning before I leave to go to work, and Billy, we'd be on the phone talking about it, and he'd have me turn my camera on, leave my camera on all day, and he would get responses. My chair would move, the chair that I'm sitting in. Uh, my wife likes to pick at me and say, "Oh, it's the air conditioner making a move." I'm so we got an air conditioner blowing that hard. Lord help all the junk that's in my little man cave here because it's all be piled on one side of the room when I get home. But there's been times the air conditioner not been on, and you can see the flag over here. It like this little flotation wave, like it's hanging on a pole. And Billy's caught that several times. And we got some voices in here are male, female, children. Uh, for those that's not thinking I'm a nutcase or nothing, we've got voices. I don't know if we've got it recorded or not, but we've got voices of Robert the Bruce. We've got voices. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if we recorded that night. But yeah, we did a hunt out here on my property because I wanted to find out who it was out here. And this is shortly after we found out my heritage. I don't want to go into that because this channel is dedicated for Dead Shark, not who I am, but we got the voice of William Wallace, and it blew my mind because I was not expecting him to be coming through to talk. And when I asked who he was, he said, "You know me." I'm like, "Okay, be more elaborate of who you are, please, sir. Give me your name." He said, "William." Billy was doing the Estes method, facing away from us. He was facing the trees, and he's responding like instant. As soon as I'm asking a question, I get responses. He said, "William." I said, "Okay, there's only like 50 million Williams in this world, or has been in this world. Can you tell me any more?" And the voice got real strong and said, "William Wallace." And I turned and looked at the rest of the people that was out there like, did I hear what I think I heard?" And that's when we decided to end the SD method and close up shop for the night. But they're here and they don't mind talking. In fact, and I'm cool with doing a few more hunts out here, but I'm a firm believer of hunting it too much back to back. I don't want to do repetition hunts because it can develop other energies we don't want.
Yep.
So
It can go as
I just
far
lay
as
it on the table.
elemental disruptions, oversaturation. Sometimes it can even disrupt spirit's energy. So it's always best to do it
Well,
part.
I've already got a situation with something on the back of the property here as a wraith. I mean, don't want that accident enter my property.
Right.
So that would bring out full blown paranormal war out here.
Speaking of which, we really do need to do some more room observation stuff.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that. I need to do I need to get the rest of my room finished unpacked. Been living here for almost 3 years and I'm still not completely unpacked. But unpack the rest of my stuff, get some shelving put up, get the floor cleaned up where you know break your neck when you walk in here, and set some cameras up in here, and let our young ones, you know, the investigators that's not really had a whole lot of experience, come in here by themselves and sit in the middle of the room and see who wants to come and play. You know,
Yeah.
uh, now with one individual, I don't think she needs to be in here by herself because somebody she knows here.
Right. Right.
I
Um.
start hearing music, you know, boom, chicka, wow, wow.
Goodness. Yeah. For those that watch us, if you don't believe us, that's fine. We hope you enjoy because I mean we don't do this for thrills. We do this for scientific research. And if you don't believe us, that's fine. I mean, you
We enjoy doing it too.
yeah, whether you like it or not, we're still going to continue doing this well into the future. We don't. We only do
Hopefully.
this because we want to share our evidence. We want to share the things that we're getting. And if you don't,
Yep.
even if we stop making videos on YouTube, we're probably going to give our stuff either to our kids, our grandkids, or we're going to give it to some person over in England to see if they can make any sense of it. Other than that,
Yep.
c'est la vie.
Yeah. Well, I want to. I want to. You know, it's like I said. You know, when we did the meet and greet, to me, it's not just the thrill of the evidence. I do enjoy that. I do enjoy seeing if there's something out there. I mean, I'm not getting no younger. I'm 57 years old, and I've got some health issues. So, with that in mind, I know I'm not going to live forever. I want to see if I got a chance of hanging around. You know, once I'm gone, do I get to hang out and watch my grandkids grow, my great grandkids grow? See how my children turn out. You know, that's the thing that excites me. And when I get evidence of, hey, they're still here, especially when we get, you know, these guys back here from around the 1000 era, even earlier,
Mm,
uh, they're still around. And then we get, you know, Civil War. Of course, my dad, being the person he was, he loved the history. You know, the history of the Civil War and the Revolution. You know, it was Dad's thing, and he loved it. Of course, I was raised in it, so I love it. And now, you know, of course, Billy, he loves history. So, you know, with that in mind, when we make contact, we're not doing this to torture or put them on a display. If they've got something to say, we want to know, you know, and that's who we are. We're not out here trying to make something happen. If it don't happen, you know, hey, we'll give them the respect and may you rest in peace and walk away. But if they got something to say, when we're there, we hope we can do what we can to help them out.
right. Right.
And we're not doing it for profit because that's what we said. I've already said that before. But, you know, with the Conjuring House thing happening like it has, I want to understand who we are. I don't want people thinking we're trying to do this for fame or notoriety or trying to make big bucks off of the YouTube or, you know, hoping Discovery Channel will see us and come knocking on our door. We don't really care about all that because
Discovery,
there's
no.
too much evidence on that. Too much evidence on that end that they have in the past requested the paranormal researchers to fake it for ratings, and we're not about that. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, we're out. We go on to the next one.
Yeah, if a television producer or team ever comes to us and offers us a chance to be on TV, it's either going to be on our terms or not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, we all still
Yep.
have jobs, we all still have lives. I mean,
And and we do it for the scientific research and the personal gratification of what we do. We're not doing it for ratings. We're not doing it for, look at us, see who we are. No, we're not. We don't really care. We want people to like us for who we are, not what we entertainment part aspects. Oh, even though we can be quite entertaining, we try to.
Yeah, if I kind of agree with what Mandy said. I probably should start a Patreon and set up stuff for like um, going on ghost hunts with us, um, showing some like behind the scenes stuff of when we're being like nutcases.
And we do that quite regular. I mean, that's one thing that when the call comes, we're going to be doing a hunt, and everybody starts getting together, and we crack each other up. I mean, because come on, we all got our own personalities, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm kind of laid back and easy going, but if the comedy part kicks off, get ready to hold your ribs because I'm going to have everybody rolling for a little while. But
Especially, I mean, if you're always tensed up and you're always expecting something to
man,
happen, your heart is not going to be able to take it.
because then if something does happen, that first thing your first reaction is run.
Right. Which big message to all paranormal investigators. Something happens, don't freaking run. You go in, you clear the room, you make sure there's no one in there that's actually doing this.
Or is it stand still for a minute and listen.
Hmm.
Make sure you don't hear somebody trying to escape out the back window.
Because as we figured out, squatters are a thing. Personal protection needs to be a thing.
Oh yeah, yep.
And for our friends over the pond, I know you know where to get a knife. I know what freaking hornet spray is.
Hey, a baseball bat does wonders.
Mm.
You know,
You grab your mama's frying pan.
you don't have to. You don't have to go straight up medieval and come out with a damn Excalibur sword and start putting the shields up and all that. No, most time you make the announcement of who you are and that you are protecting yourself. You ain't got to worry about squatters messing with you. They're gonna get on yonder somewhere and get out of your way.
I mean, it goes
But
back
when they're
to.
not supposed to be there,
Mm,
yeah, go ahead, Billy.
well, it goes back to those urban exploration guys. I remember that one dude. He loves going to these places, and I've seen several times. He's caught on camera, even though he doesn't know they're there. Someone watching him, and he's like following the sounds, and it's like, dude, you're literally following the sounds of this guy. He's going to jump you eventually. So you always got to have something for personal protection.
And to all beginners, always remember, don't go alone.
Never.
Always have somebody to watch your six. Cover your back. What do you want to call it? Everybody's better protected in pairs, whether it be paranormal that you're dealing with or the living that's trying to cause you harm.
Yep. And when we're talking about the paranormal part of it, the reason we say don't go alone, at least someone's there to call an ambulance when you're having a heart attack.
Or you got verification. You got somebody else that say you can look at it and say, "Did you hear that?" You're not just talking to your camera. Because if the camera didn't pick it up and you're the only one who heard it, then you can't guarantee it to be evidence. You got to have some kind of verification.
Oh, he just farted.
Well, I
Oh.
didn't hear nothing. I didn't smell it.
Oh.
Uh,
But yeah, you're right. You never go alone. We even though we only have we're down to six
I mean,
people for the Georgia team, so yeah, we always make sure to stay in
and
groups.
like I said a while ago about when I said a while ago about letting somebody sit in here alone, we know who's here. We know they're not going to cause no harm to nobody. But and we know what they're here for. So, but letting them experience that one on one, we're outside the door. We're right here. It's not like they're going to be in this house, in this room, and we're a half mile down the road. No, we'll be right here.
Plus, we also make sure if there's any
Cause
door
we
other door, we'll stand outside that door as well.
right because we want to know what's in here too.
Yeah.
I'm next. No, I'm next. I'm next.
Or when we investigated over your place, we were like, Ashley, go in the shed.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna do that to her no more. That was pretty comical. That was pretty funny that night though.
Mm,
Him wanting her to raise her top. That was comical.
yeah,
You pervert. No,
for anyone
she's.
who thought that people lose their sense of humor, that lost their sense of whatever vanity, whatever. No, they don't lose it. They just
No, they perfect it. You can't say, "Well, hold on, man. I'm calling the law for sexual." That don't. They'll be gone with a blink of an eye.
could you imagine?
Or they'll stand around and laugh at you.
Could you imagine
I'm calling White Earp.
Ashley coming up to me? Hey, I want to file a sexual complaint. On who? On that spirit over there.
Yeah.
I can't punish him, Ashley.
Yep. I've
Oh,
been touched. I've been touched on the butt cheek more than I've ever wanted to. Spirit, I grant you that.
oh God.
It's like, hey, hey. And all it is, they want to get your attention, and they'll touch will get your attention.
Mm. It's just like if you went to a prison and you're female, prisoners know if they
Mm.
touch your backside, your butt, they pull your hair, that knows that's going to get your attention.
In a hurry,
Mm.
but
Because they're not expecting it.
sometimes you hear. Well, I mean, I watched one paranormal group. I ain't gonna mention no names, but they were in a prison, and they brought a female with them, and she was a quite attractive young lady, and she's walking through the cell block ahead of the guys, and you hear a cat whistle. So
Mm-hmm.
and they caught it on recording. So I mean, you see cameras. They had cameras pointed each one of them, so you could guarantee it wasn't none of them whistling, but you definitely heard it. So
Goodness, yeah, that